For centuries, Guam has been ruled by different countries, which include Spain, the United States, and Japan. During the occupations, each country would assign a governor to rule over the island for a limited time. The colonization of Guam was started by the Spanish during 1668, with the first recorded governor being Juan de Santa Cruz, who stayed in office from 1668 to 1672. The Spanish ruled over Guam until the year 1899, in which the Spanish-American War came to an end. The United States would then take over Guam as compensation for the war. The president would send naval governors to rule over Guam, such as Henry Glass, Richard Leary, and George Johnson McMillan. Towards the beginning of World War II, Japan would invade Guam and take control of the island from 1941 to 1944. Governors such as Tomitaro Hori and Hideyoshi Obata caused the people of Guam to endure hardships with forced labor. However, the recapture of Guam in 1944 by the United States led to continue the assignment of governors by the President of the United States. Over these many years, the Chamorro people had no say in choosing the leader of the island. Their voices were ignored and changes happened throughout the island without their consent. Still, it was only a matter of time until the people of Guam worked towards being able to have the right to vote for their governor.
The push for the ability to vote for a governor of Guam started with the 6th Guam legislature. The 6th Guam legislature helped Guam become able to vote for their governor by lobbying Congress for the ability to elect a governor. The Guam legislature had begun lobbying Congress for elections by the people of Guam for governor in 1962. Their efforts would not be in vain, as later on in 1968, the Guam Elective Governor Act was passed. The Guam Elective Governor Act, passed by the 90th United States Congress on September 11, 1968, allowed for the governor of Guam to be elected by the populace instead of being appointed by the president. The Guam Elective Governor Act was a part of the Elective Governor Acts in 1968, which also allowed the U.S. Virgin Islands to appoint their own governor by election.
The Elected Governor Act, also known as Public Law 90-497, stated that the people of Guam are allowed to vote for their own governor and lieutenant governor. An election would be held every 4 years and limited governors to only 2 full terms. However, the act did come at a great cost. The act would eliminate the preferential higher status in federal jobs for Chamorros. The act also resulted in an excessive amount of power given to the Interior Department to oversee all GovGuam accounts and records at any time. The people of Guam would also have to relinquish their special rights as indigenous people in order to be given similar rights as U.S. citizens. Though they had to give up some of their privileges, it resulted in a better democratic system for Guam.
With the passing of the Elective Governor Act, it was now time for Guam to elect its first governor. In the 1970 election, Carlos Camacho ran unopposed for the Republican Party and faced off against Ricardo J. Bordallo, Manuel Guerrero, and Joaquin Arreola for the Democratic Party. Carlos Camacho would go on to win this election, solidifying Camacho as the first elected governor of Guam. Camacho was previously appointed as governor of Guam in 1969 and was previously known for visiting the troops in Vietnam, which made him well liked. Camacho would go on to initiate one of the biggest economic booms on Guam by enhancing economic opportunities and overlooking the creation of many hotels on Guam. Camacho would also initiate many infrastructure projects on Guam, like improving Marine Corps Drive and creating highways in various villages. Camacho's influence and prosperity would inspire many educated Chamorros who had once left Guam to come back to Guam, leading to a reversal of what was known as a brain drain, and bringing new leadership to Guam for the future of Guam. Camacho would later go on to run for re-election in 1974 but lose to Ricardo Bordallo, residing as a dentist until his death in 1979. Carlos Camacho had a very positive impact on the island. Camacho was the first elected governor, allowing him to be a governor that was wanted by a majority of the people. The ability to elect a governor is very important, as the people of Guam could now pick a person to better represent them and their interests as a leader. The ability to elect a governor also helped push for the advancement of Guam's self-determination and self-government and gave the people more control over the future of Guam. As governor, Camacho engaged in the development of Guam by enhancing Guam's economy and infrastructure. Camacho would go on to be remembered as a widely respected leader of Guam and known as the first elected governor of Guam, drastically impacting Guam and giving power to its people.
Guam's governance in the past centuries was a prolonged struggle for self-determination. Foreign nations would control Guam by appointing their own governors and making unwanted changes on the island. However, in 1968, through perseverance and tenacity, the people of Guam were now able to vote for their governor through the Elected Governor Act. This was a pivotal moment in Guam's history, strengthening the people of Guam to take a role in shaping their island's future and giving them new power that has been taken away from them for centuries. Camacho's election as the first elected governor of Guam was a huge step towards Guam's journey to self-determination. His impact on the island inspired the Chamorro people to be more active in politics. The Elected Governor Act made the people strive for further political and social improvements on the island.